Welcome to the Springs in the Desert podcast. We're those friends that you can take with you wherever you are on the path of infertility. Welcome back to the Springs in the Desert podcast. I am Jillian, your host, and I'm joined today by Natalie Blackford. How are you doing today, Natalie?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yes, you are so welcome. It is our pleasure to have you. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Today, we are going to talk about low toxin living, or kind of, decluttering our lives from all the toxins that can be present in our homes and around us. And Natalie has, a lot to share about this. So, Natalie, if you would just begin, in a way of introduction, but telling us how you sort of started this journey with low toxin living.
Yeah, absolutely. So I currently live in Illinois. We're a military family. I have a daughter, Gianna, who's 7. We are currently going through a season of secondary infertility, and we are still hopeful, very hopeful that we will conceive. So I'm definitely in the middle of all the NAPRO fertility appointments. I had like a 1-year break, and now we're kind of back at it on both sides. So my husband's side and then my side. And really still very hopeful for us being able to conceive another child. We are planning to move to Florida next month. I love Springs of the Desert. I found out about this and it's been so encouraging in my life. So I'm always so honored to be here chatting. I got into toxin-free living. So I've always been pretty natural, like my mom, making us natural masks, or when we're sick, making us more natural things and chicken broth and stuff. So I've always been pretty natural in that way. But it wasn't until we were like really into our fertility journey 3 years ago, that's when we really started digging in and really focusing on nutrition. But it actually randomly happened to be that someone invited me to my friend Nikki, her Facebook wellness group. And I was looking for I think I was looking for like a toxin-free makeup item, like just something so simple. But she happened to have like a lot of just clean things, wellness. And so she did a little wellness workshop for my friends, and I learned a lot about perfumes and just all the things, like just things that I would have never thought about, like shavers, razors, and all these things. And I just never thought about it all. So anyway, I just started digging in just from there. And I started my own wellness group also 3 years ago, and just really for a place to share my fertility journey, healthy eating, clean living. So that's a little bit how I got started.
Wow, I really appreciate that story. Listeners, if you're hearing this and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, I don't know about perfumes. I don't know about razors.
Yeah.
What is it?" I think I have been there too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this topic because I have, a very similar story that, after unexplained loss and then, years of infertility, I said, and then also, yeah, some pauses because
Mhm.
it was just a little bit overwhelming. All
Mhm.
the appointments and all the
Mhm.
medications and all of the charting and all of the things were so overwhelming. I thought, I think there might be some ways that I can do things for my body and for my family at home that are a little less stressful and that I can learn along the way.
Yes,
And so
I love that.
yes, I really resonate with your notion that I just had no idea. I had no idea that there were, perhaps toxins in several of the products that I was using. And I love that there was sort of a seed planted from your home life growing up that your mom had gifted you this perspective of
Right.
kind of low toxin living.
Right. Yeah, that was really helpful. And then how it kind of evolved. And yeah, I'm excited about this topic because I'm definitely someone who there are so many, especially being in my wellness group. There's over 500 women, and so we're always chatting, and it's just always so encouraging. But whenever you share with your friend or your family, you're going through fertility thing, people are so quick, and I know so many can probably relate, but people are so quick to say, "Oh, have you tried doing X, Y, and Z? Have you tried this? And I'm definitely very sensitive to someone being like, Natalie, have you tried eating more tomatoes? Like that's it. That's it. That's what your husband needs. And so the way I approach clean living and the way I help women, I do it in the way of like how I would want someone to do it for me and just really make it simplified, not stressful, and to make it fun, really. Like it's just an opportunity to just be cleaner and just take care of yourself. Yeah, so I'm excited to share, later just some practical tips that looking back, I wish someone would have told me
Mm.
because there are very easy ways to get into it. So I know it could be overwhelming because a lot of products are everything nowadays is like phthalate free, paraben free. So you're like, oh, I got the best one. Even like my friend was sharing with me like a lubricant and it's like number one doctor recommended and paraben free. And then she looks at the ingredients. She's like, Natalie, this is a spermicide and it's not good. And it has all these things. So anyway, so this is my passion because I am able to, understand a little bit more.
Yes, I appreciate that example too, because I remember when I had first started trying to find some healthier products for our home, that I would look at a label and it would appear that it was clean,
Right,
that it has all of these, not none of this, none of
right,
that, none of this. And then I would turn the label and there's still, it seems like 500 ingredients
right,
in
right.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Or you go to Whole Foods and you think like even with food, right? Like, oh, it must be good. It's at Whole Foods, but it is good to just double check labels. Just take a quick second and just look at them and just make sure if you're gonna, spend the time and money that it's gonna be something good.
Yes. Well, let's jump in, Natalie. I think there are many reasons why people
Yes.
might want to start eliminating some toxins from their home, but for this community in a season of infertility, it might be because they're trying to just kind of cleanse their body and get a reset or, a number of reasons, trying to
Mhm.
identify maybe some allergens or something like
Right.
that. So what are maybe three simple ways that someone could begin this journey? Maybe three products or just what are some suggestions that if someone is really just starting out, they've never really heard about this or just haven't had the chance to look at products, what would be your advice for three things that they could do?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So the first one I would say I do have in my wellness group that is open to all women, free community. I have a list that has like the major hitters, and there's over 40 ingredients, but they're the ones that you want to, and you just save it on your phone on camera roll. And what I do is I just go to the store and I just double check. And I do have one for food as well. And so that really helps. So you're not guessing. You're like, okay, let me take a look at my list and make sure there's no major hitters in there. Each ingredient has been researched. So I do have a website and it has why they're on that list. That would be number one is, just getting a list like that. Number two is replacing things as you run out. So say I run out of deodorant, okay, and I do have a list of safe switches. So in our group, I list, okay, here are the safe deodorants, and we kind of just share, obviously, within the clean community. I mean, there are just some things that work and some things that don't. It's the reality.
Right.
Just with clean
Right.
eating, there's just some things I would never eat that are clean because they don't taste good. So similar, there's just some deodorants that I love and some I will never use. And so we talk about that. So doing things like that, I feel like is so helpful. So you're not like, oh, great, now I have to spend all this money. You could just replace as it comes, maybe set aside like a little fund or, if you are very financial, something, if that's really important, just making that important. And then number three, being part of community because I do have a lot of friends, a lot of people that they'll try and then you quickly get overwhelmed and you're like, you know what? Oh, well, it's just deodorant. It's just this. But just being encouraged that, it is worth looking at this side. And the thing that keeps me going is that I can't detox my inside without doing the outside too. We spend all this time eating healthy, But then we also have to be aware that what we put on our skin also can put a heavy load on our liver. And so, a lot of what we put, not everything absorbs on your skin, but a lot does. So making sure that that's clean without stressing. I know that that doesn't do any good. So just being part of a community, which is number 3, really helps. And I do have the wellness group, and I always try to post every day and just kind of get us talking. And I share a lot of things. It's fun because it's not just clean living, but I also share my fertility journey. I also share my faith journey because that's really important as we're getting healthy. But I think having that accountability and having someone to ask, like, yeah, I need a new razor or I need a new shampoo that's actually going to work, that's actually going to help clean my hair and smell good. That I feel like those are the 3 things that has kept me going. And hopefully that's helpful for you too.
Yes, I love all of those suggestions. I'm thinking particularly of number 2 that when I started trying to look at products, I did quickly become overwhelmed because I opened up my bathroom cabinet and I realized, "Oh my gosh, I have so many products that I need to look at." And that rule of just switching out as I ran out of a product became so manageable. I could
Right.
just take one product at a time and say, "Okay, I'm almost out of deodorant, and so now I'm gonna look into it."
Right.
And, then I appreciate what you said about that, not all of the clean products work that well, or maybe just for a certain body type,
Right.
might not work as well as the next person, and so sometimes I remember with deodorant, I tried probably, oh gosh, maybe 3 or 4 brands before I was able to find a good clean product that worked with my body
Yes.
type.
Yes.
And it can be a struggle,
Right.
but it's totally worth it, and I'm so glad that I have a cleaner product and that I don't have to worry about, like, what I might
Right.
be putting into my body or, that might be absorbed, so I really those are such good tips, and we'll link to your website and the wellness group in the show notes so that if anyone would like to get quick access to that, we'll make sure it's there.
Perfect. Yes, sounds good. And, Jillian, as you were talking, I was thinking, there are some things that are an investment. Like I would never make my own deodorant, for example. So there are some things that I do invest, like toothpaste and deodorant and makeup, and because I won't make those items, but there are things that cleaning with baking soda and vinegars, and we use that. There are companies that you can get deodorant, dishwasher, soaps, everything in just one company. And that has helped me a lot. That's kind of another little tip is don't feel like you need a bunch. It's just nice because once you get into it, and especially being part of a community, it just helps so much. It helps so much. And we really keep it so simple. We use very few companies and it just helps having like one company and buying everything you need from them for the most part. That has really
Right.
helped me.
Oh, yes. I can't wait to share that.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, Natalie, I'm thinking of the women or the couples who might be feeling a little overwhelmed just thinking about lessening the toxins in their home. It can feel pretty heavy, especially, hopefully they'll be able to look at your resources and join your wellness group to begin. But while they're, beginning to research and trying to choose replacement products, what advice or encouragement might you give them to start and just not give up, to keep looking and to find a good product switch for them?
It's a great question. Yeah, so number 1, I would say just having a good mindset about it, and just for me, saying it helps me when I say out loud with anything new. I'm always learning new things on this fertility journey. Every appointment I have, seriously, not to go on a tangent, but every time I have a new like NAPRO appointment, there's always something new. They're like, "Okay, we want you to switch to this and this." And it just is always something new. So if you're new to toxin free living or low tox living, or maybe you know a little bit about it, but still feeling kind of weighed down, or it's just hard to make time, definitely just having the mindset of like, what if this is easy? Like, what if this is so easy? What if this is fun? What if I find like something better than my toxic deodorant, for example? So, having a good mindset, I think, is a good start. And then don't feel like you have to do everything at once. So, with certain websites, or you start Googling, that's like a rabbit hole in itself, and you start Googling and you're like, great, now this is going to mess up this and this and this. So definitely don't go that route, because that can, I feel like that kind of opens for the enemy to discourage you and get you down. And definitely, I've been there, so definitely don't do that. But just kind of knowing progress over perfection. Like, what can you do? So if whatever is keeping you from doing it, just think, you're overwhelmed or finances, just thinking, what can I do now? Okay, I can try cleaning with baking soda instead of this Lysol or something, just somewhere, just starting somewhere is better than not doing anything at all. And again, the progress over perfection, that makes a big difference. And I find, for example, once I replace my toothpaste and deodorant, you get excited. I get so excited. I'm like, this is awesome. This is better than my other toothpaste, and it works better, and it comes in a little glass container, and you feel really good that you're doing something good for yourself. It actually is fun for me because I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. I notice that it's not affecting me anymore. I don't know. I would find I'd get like headaches and stuff like that with certain products. And now I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about fragrance. I don't have to worry about these chemicals. I do feel just a lighter burden, like just my body. I feel cleaner. So it's just neat how sometimes these cleaner brands, you just get more motivated as you start. I think that's why people go really into toxin free, because little by little you're like, this is awesome. Like this is really helping.
Yes, that's such good advice because I remember I'm sort of a perfectionist, I would say. I like
Yes, me
I when
too.
I do something, yes, I want to do it all the way and as well as I can. And so
Right.
that I think was discouraging me, and that the evil one was trying to just sort of tell me, "Oh, if you can't do one thing, don't do anything at all." And
Right.
it's just so it was freeing to give myself permission to learn.
I love that. Right,
Yes.
right. Even giving yourself a few months. Like, I'm not going to
Yep.
rush into changing. There's no pressure. Let me
Yes.
just take it in. And then when, come summer or when you have a break, I don't know, some teachers out there, then you can, like, okay, yeah. But yeah, never feel rushed, to do. We know the enemy brushes us, the Lord convicts us. So, yeah, I love that. I love that. Not feeling like it has to be perfect, but just trying your best. And I do
Yes.
that, I think, with fertility, especially. You kind of just, I think, with anything fertility related, it's, I don't know, you want to do everything. I know I can fall into that too, Jillian. Like, you want to do everything perfect because you're like, okay, like fertility is so fragile and things have to be kind of in the right place, right time. But I've had to like surrender and like I would beat myself up a lot. Oh, I ate that ice cream. I ate this. I ate that. And so I've really had to like, Lord, I'm going to try my best. And I just trust that God, like, you will sustain me. You will do the rest. And I do take seriously like being healthy, but I try not to stress if I have a week that I don't exercise, or I have a week that I don't do this and this and that.
Yeah, and I think that mentality frees us from the idea that temptation that if only I do this, then this will result.
Right.
That the
Right.
Lord is the Lord of all creation, and he,
Yes.
although the crosses that so many people in this community are carrying are so heavy, he delights in who they are and sees who they are, and so to cooperate with him, walk alongside him and do this sort of, one thing at a time and try to,
Yes.
what can I do to work with you, Lord, in your plan? And that
Right.
doesn't mean that, a toxin free or low toxin life won't necessarily be the quick fix or the
Right.
solution. Hopefully it could be for someone, but
Yeah.
but it is, just walking with the Lord hand in hand, trying to take care of our bodies, a beautiful creation that he's given us. So I really
Exactly.
appreciate that perspective.
Love that. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts too. I
Yeah.
learned from you as well this episode. So yeah, that's really
Yeah.
really good. I love that. Just like keeping God at the center, of it.
Yes. This was such a helpful conversation. Natalie,
Yeah.
if our listeners would like to get in touch with you or to learn more about your wellness group or your website, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Facebook, and I also have Beautiful You Wellness with over 500 women. So it's a big group of us. We have NAPRO docs, dietitians, but we also have like so many people walking the fertility journey as well. So it's just a good mix of us Christian women in there, and it's just awesome. Like it's just everyone's so encouraging. And even as I have NAPRO appointments and things like that, people always, I'll just like, hey, can you guys pray for me about to start this new healthy thing or this new thing that my doctor wants me? And everyone's always up to praying for you. So we welcome any woman to the group. It would be such an honor.
Oh, Natalie, I cannot wait to dive a little bit more into low toxin living.
Yes.
And yes, I'm so excited to check out your wellness group and to follow you a little bit closer on social media. And I just encourage our followers to do the same. That wherever you're at, to just start slow. And Natalie is such a, as you can probably tell in this episode, she is such a gentle soul and just wants to encourage and uplift. So I just really encourage our listeners wherever you're at to start small. And as Natalie said, just replace one product at a time. And she's got recommendations for you. So
Right.
it,
Yes, I try to make it so easy where you don't have to stress or worry, and it's just right there. Like, make it really easy. So, yes, well, thank you so much. It was so good to chat and so good to talk about all this. I love it.
yes, you're so welcome. Listeners, I'm praying for you in your journey wherever you are at. I hope that there were some suggestions and tips in here that you can take with you and maybe start researching or look into the products in your own home. Just know that God loves you and so do we, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us for this Springs in the Desert podcast episode. We would be so grateful if you took a minute to rate and review us so that we can reach more listeners. Don't forget to check out our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, and go to our website, springsinthedesert.org, where you can sign up for our newsletter and community prayer list, read our blog, and register for virtual and in-person events. Most importantly, remember that God loves you so much, and so do we.